In this assignment's overview video, I'm going to talk about the discussion forums. So there are 4 online discussion forums spread throughout the semester. Each one is worth 25 points. Here's what you need to do. Take a look at the prompt and respond to it using the information that you've read and consumed through the multimedia. So as you think about your response to each of the prompts, think about the assigned readings that are part of that module, and also think about any of the multimedia that's been included in that module. You don't need to go heavy with citations. You don't need to have direct quotes from anything that you've read or listened to or watched. But I do want to see some sort of evidence that your thinking on your response to that forum topic is informed by the content in that module. And I want to make sure I'm also really clear in communicating that each forum is connected to that specific module. So if there's a discussion about experimental research methods, then all you're drawing on for that discussion post is the module on experimental methods. So keep that in mind. You don't have to draw on stuff from the entire semester that we've covered to that point. It's for that specific module, that specific week. So how do you demonstrate that what you're talking about in your forum post is connected to the material from that week? Just make mention of it. You might say, there are a number of different ways to go about an experimental study. One of the key considerations is making sure to address researcher bias and when it comes to the sampling approach. And one of the perspectives that we have on ways to address that, Dane really makes the following points that are really clear and spell those out. Again, not quoting, not going and looking it up and saying, well, on page 37, Dane said ... Just provide your reflection, your perspective. But something basic like that, mention the author of the chapter or the reading. If it's a YouTube clip, maybe it's a TEDx talk or something that I've produced, then just say, as Dr. Burke mentioned in his video, ... Just keep it like that. So you'll make your own initial post, and then by Sunday night, ideally you have that done by Thursday or Friday. I think on the syllabus I say Friday by midnight. Then by Sunday at 11:59 p.m., respond to 2 peers. Now that's in order, so each one's worth 25 points. So there's a rubric for each discussion forum. Take a look at those. Make your initial posting. Make sure that your response is reflective of the assigned course material. Show that you've put some thought into it. So, oh boy, it's creeping up. It's 11:40 p.m. on Friday night. Oh, I've got to crank this out. Try, as much as you're able, give it a little bit more time than that. Read the material, watch the videos. If there's a podcast episode I've asked you to listen to, take a listen to it, think about them, and then compose your response. These don't need to be long, drawn-out things either. 200 words, I think, tends to get a little bit wordy. If you're going beyond that, let's be honest, how many of your peers are going to want to read it? I want to read it, but remember there's 20 of you in this class. So within reason, I don't know if I want to read 2,200 word responses on a discussion forum, but I want you to take the time and do your due diligence. In your responses to peers, go beyond something like, hey Brandon, I thought you made a really good point. What was it about what Brandon said that resonated with you? Also, it's okay to disagree with each other. Remember, we're part of an academic and democratic community. We can disagree with one another as long as we do it respectfully and in a constructive manner. So you might say, okay, Brandon, I totally get where you're coming from with that. I actually took it in a different way. I drew something differently out of that assigned reading, and here's why. So state your agreement or disagreement, something that resonated with you, or even something that made you think, hey, Francie, I never really thought about it that way. That's a really interesting perspective. And then say, what was it about Francie's response that got you thinking? Other than just it. It made me think. Well, what about it made you think? So go in that level of detail. Your response to your peers, I'm thinking a healthy paragraph. 6, 7 sentences, something like that. So total word count, we might be looking at 50 to 75 words per peer response. Don't feel like you have to stop the conversation once you've hit your 2. If you read folks' responses that really resonate with you and you want to respond to and get a dialogue going, get a dialogue going. In past semesters, I've had a number of students who have taken this assignment to heart and really gotten into it and enjoyed it. Or these 4 assignments rather. Remember, there are 4 discussion forums, and had a really nice dialogue with a few fellow students in the class. So again, that's not a requirement. That's not a part of how you are being evaluated for a grade. But enjoy the class. That's the number one thing. I want you to enjoy this class. So that's it for the discussion forums. Check out the next video to find out more about the next set of assignments.